welcome. Welcome back. It has been, oh my gosh, I can't even tell you how long it's been since I've been on, right? Welcome everyone. I thought I was going to take like a month off. I was traveling, spending some time in South Carolina with my mother and going to Florida and just enjoying the warm weather in the summer months. And then next thing you know, I was gone off of here for, I don't know, like 3 months. So welcome everyone. I'm so sorry it's been so long, but it feels good to be back. And those of you who are on my Allison Vaughn page, you guys know I'm live every day. I'm live every morning, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9:30 a.m. I come on every morning now and I read scriptures. So I haven't been live on Maintaining My Crown, but I haven't totally vanished off of social media. I am live every day. All right, so we're back tonight with hair, and I hope I don't take another break as long as I took a break this time. But you know, after the pandemic, it was everybody, I think we were all so tired of being in the house that the other thing was I was really enjoying my time out traveling and just spending time with my mother in particular and my family. And I just felt like everybody probably wanted to go out and enjoy the good weather, right? And so I was like, you know what? What I thought was going to be just take a couple of weeks off. And then that turned into a couple of months off. But as you can see, my product stash has grown. I'm all over my my ledge now, and my stash, you know, I have to tell you, I was actually doing pretty good. I had stopped buying new products for a while, and then all of a sudden I started finding sales. And once I started finding the sales, I started buying all these products again. And I was so proud of myself. I said, I'm going to use up everything that I have, and this way I can just start fresh. And that didn't last long. I made it like halfway through, and then I started finding these excellent sales, like this 3 for $20 or something like that. Buy one, get one. And I just started taking advantage of all the sales. And then next thing you knew, my product stash grew back to where it was. So, you know, I'm not complaining though. It's fun. I missed not trying a lot of products. So today I actually did have wash day this morning. And one of my recent finds, and this is, I'm not going to go into detail today because today I want to specifically talk about what I call COVID hair loss and hair texture change due to having COVID-19. But I did have wash day today, and I did try out a new product. So I think I'm going to come back maybe in my next episode. I'm going to talk about it. This is Eden Body Works. I found this anti-breakage deep conditioner that was part of this 3 for $20 sale. Now, those of you, you may remember, I used to talk about this. I talked about this for a while, and a couple of people that follow Maintaining My Crown actually tried this. And really, this went over well. People really like this. And so I found a 3 for $20 deal. And so I said, you know what? Because I'm starting to have some breakage with my hair. So I said, let me try their anti-breakage deep conditioner. So this morning, you know what I did? I split my head down the middle, and I said, let me see if, good evening, welcome back. I said, let me see if I like one over the other, but it's too soon because this is anti-breakage. So I'm going to have to use this for a while, but I'm going to report back on what I think. So I split my hair down the middle, and I put this, this is the Eden Body Works Split End Repair Mask. I put this on the right side, and I put the anti-breakage deep conditioning treatment on the left side. And I think I'll keep using it like that and see which my hair likes better and where I get great results. All right, so this is what I'm up to today. But So tonight I wanted to talk about what I call COVID hair. Now, I'm not smiling because this is funny, because this is actually very traumatic for people who have suffered this. But, it's kind of weird because I thought this was fairly common, and it seems to be a large portion of women are having issues with their hair after having COVID-19. But as common as it is, there's still a segment of the population. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. Welcome back. There's still a segment of the population that has not heard of it. And then thankfully enough, not everyone has suffered it. So that's a blessing. And I was talking to a cousin of mine, actually is suffering with it. And she has a pretty severe case of it, and she was talking to her beautician about it, and funny enough, her beautician initially was not aware of it. And so I reached out to a beautician I know who works at a shop that seems to do a lot of business, and so I reached out to her to ask her what she knew about COVID hair and what her experience was. Was she seeing clients that were losing their hair, or a change of texture, or breakage? Any of those three, right? Either the hair coming out, just clumps of hair coming out, hair breakage, or a change in texture. And so this beautician said no, that her shop had not seen any cases of it. She was not even familiar with it, that it was a thing. But it is a thing, it is real. So I started to do a bit of research on it, and then, good evening, Instagram. And then not only did I research it, I actually did a poll, because I belong to a couple of hair groups on Facebook. And so I looked at in the group, and several women had already posted about their experience with it. But then I asked even more, because I caught it like months after the fact, because some people were posting about it back in 2020 or the beginning of 2021. And I just really started to take a deeper interest in it after I knew of a couple of people personally who suffered what I consider to be really severe cases of this, what I'm calling COVID hair, or hair loss post COVID-19. And so I surveyed some of the women in the group, and I asked people if they had suffered it and what their experiences were like. And luckily enough, everybody was very nice because this is a hair group in particular, everyone was more than willing to share their experiences with me regarding what happened. So what happened to their hair, how long did it last, and then what did they do to kind of help it. So the good news is that pretty much everybody said that their hair did come back, or was starting to come back. So it wasn't as though, how they have COVID-19, they have long haulers where they got COVID-19 in, let's say, 2020, and they're still sick. They still have symptoms that just won't go away. They just never recovered 100%. So you do have some people who are suffering from long haulers, COVID long haulers. But the good thing was, the good thing was that pretty much everyone who answered me and shared their story, their hair is coming back. So this is not something, I haven't had anyone say to me personally that their hair has not come back, or that they started to see the shedding or the breakage slow down. So that's a good thing. So my thought was, I really wanted to come on here tonight, especially after I was hearing a couple of beauticians say that they were not familiar with this, and I knew that this was real. I figured I wanted to come on and really talk about it, because this is traumatic. And some of the people who lost almost their whole head of hair, believe it or not, there are people who have lost 2/3 of their hair and actually had to cut it off, that I figured it was worth coming on and talking about it. And then if there was anybody, let me see, I'm on Maintaining My Crown, I'm on my person. It doesn't look like it's gonna let me have anybody on screen on my Allison Vaughn page, but it looks like on Maintaining My Crown, I see the icon where it looks like if anybody wants to come on, you should be able to come on live. If you have had hair loss following COVID-19 and you want to come on and share your story, please do. And if you are on my Allison Vaughn page, because the icon is grayed out, if you're on my personal page and you've had hair loss post COVID-19, or you have a question and you want to come on screen and ask it live, pop over to my Maintaining My Crown page and you should be able to ask it there. Okay, so I really wanted to just open up a space where we could have a conversation, and I'll tell you guys what I know about it, and then if you want to share your feedback or your experience, you could put it in the comments, and prayerfully the comments will scroll. And if you don't want to come on live, you can, put it in the comments, or if you prefer to come on live, come on over to Maintaining My Crown, because like I said, I see the icon, and you can come on and you could talk to me and you can share the screen with me and tell your story live. Okay, I'm willing to do that, because really I want people to have an outlet. I just wanted to create a safe space for people to be able to talk about it, because I'll tell you, I remember back when I had my second child and my hair just started falling out in clumps, where I was washing my hair in the shower at that point, and my hair would be, "Cousin, how are you? I'm so glad you're on here for this episode about the COVID hair. I'm so glad to see you." Yeah, so my hair was coming out in clumps after I had my daughter. So I understand how frightening it is for people to all of a sudden have your hair coming out and you don't know what's going on. You don't know why your hair is coming out in clumps, right? And day after day, every time you comb your hair, wash your hair is coming out. So I just wanted to host an episode where we could come on and we could talk about it, and I can share, like I said, I can share with you what I've learned from surveying the women that I have, and then what it is that they said they did to stop the shedding and the breakage, where they found results. All right, so cousin, if you want to come on live, you can, if you want to talk to me. Otherwise, the comments seem to be scrolling. All right, so I'm going to start to tell you what I know about it and the feedback that I got, that the messages women sent to me with their stories. All right, so forgive me, because I'm going to look over here. I have it typed up because I don't want to misspeak. I want to make sure that I relay these stories accurately. So I have it over here. So I'm going to read a little bit of this to you so that I get this right. Okay, so hair loss from COVID-19. Some places you'll see it described as COVID hair. I call it COVID hair. So there's different things, different symptoms from COVID. Like when I was researching this, they actually have, Instagram, they actually have COVID feet, COVID hair. Like there's all these different symptoms that they've named as a result of COVID-19. All right, so we're talking about COVID hair. Again, this is a hair loss, hair breakage, and or a change in texture, because some people have more than one symptom of this. Okay, so it could be anywhere from mild to severe. And then I saw some feedback from some dermatologists, so I'm going to just start with that, and I'm going to tell you what the dermatologists have called this, right? So they are describing this as telogen effluvium, which is described as a reversible hair loss, which occurs a few months after a stressful event, such as emotional distress, major surgery, or a high fever, right? And so they're saying that the stress pushes your hair follicles into a resting phase. And then when it goes into this resting phase, it starts to fall out. So I knew that post-surgery, like when you go under for anesthesia, I knew that could cause hair loss. So I knew a couple of months after you have surgery, your hair could fall out, because I've had a couple of major surgeries. So the doctors did tell me that I could suffer hair loss after that. So I knew that stress and surgery could cause you to lose your hair. High fever makes sense, because people are getting a high fever with COVID-19, right? And then just the physical stress on your body is sending people into this telogen effluvium, where the hair is coming out. Now, from what I'm reading, and a lot of us have probably heard this through the course of our lives, right? That the normal amount of hair, this is what I'm reading on the internet, the normal amount of hair could be up to 100 strands a day. That's considered in the normal range. But with telogen effluvium, it's approximately 300. So that's 3 times the normal rate of hair loss, 300 strands per day. Now, this can go on, from what I'm reading, this could go on daily for up to 6 months. That's a lot of hair over a long time. And this is why some of the people are saying they lost as much as 2/3 of their hair, and they eventually had to cut it off. All right, so that's a lot of hair. That's pretty shocking, right? Like, it's bad enough to go through COVID-19 and then all of a sudden your hair starts falling out in clumps. So that's a lot to deal with. Okay, so there's a COVID group on Facebook for COVID survivors and long haulers. And so what I was reading tonight is that they actually, and now I don't know when the survey was taken, and I'm going to cite this just so you get an idea of how common this really is. They put up a post surveying people about hair loss after COVID-19. They surveyed 1,700 people, and out of the 1,700, more than a third of people said that they experienced hair loss after having COVID-19. All right, so when are people having this hair loss? So from the feedback that I'm getting and what I've read, it's happening anywhere from a couple of weeks after recovering from COVID-19 up to 2 months. Like, one lady said to me specifically that her hair loss started 2 months after recovering. All right. And then I also saw tonight that the actress Alyssa Milano, remember her? She tweeted at some point about her hair coming out, and she did a video. I didn't go look for it because it's pretty old by now, I believe. But she had posted a video of all the hair that was coming out in her brush as she was doing her hair after having COVID-19. All right. So then there's also, I read tonight on the internet that there's a dermatologist that's in Manhattan who said that they were seeing a 25% increase in the cases of hair loss in people who had COVID-19. So their patient numbers increased by 25% because people were suffering hair loss post COVID-19. So this is fairly common, right? And unfortunately, we're seeing new strains come out, so people are still getting, COVID-19. So we don't know, with all of these different variants, what the side effects and long-term side effects are going to be with each one as this continues to mutate. So I just felt like this was good information to share with everybody. All right, so I'm going to read to you a couple of the scenarios and situations that women referred back to me. They wrote back to me, and this is what they said. Okay, so I'm going to give you, I have 9 examples. Okay, I selected 9 from women. So one said she had severe hair loss, and when it grew back, the texture, it was totally different. It was not her normal hair texture. And she said when it grew in very coarse. All right, so that's one lady's experience. Another lady said she had COVID back in April, and then after that, a few weeks after she recovered, all of a sudden she said she just had massive amounts of hair just starting to fall out. Then another lady said to me that a few weeks after she recovered from COVID-19, she noticed that it started with her edges, and then all of her edges started to come out. Okay, then another lady said she noticed after it that her hair became very dry, and then after it became dry, it started to fall out. Another lady said her experience was kind of like this lady with the edges falling out. Like, she said the whole front of her head just broke off. All of the hair, it had just snapped off. So you're seeing this is affecting people in different ways. Just like COVID-19, the symptoms are different for people. The way that this hair loss is manifesting is different for people as well. All right, so then another lady said she lost most of her hair, almost the whole head of hair, but she said it has now started to come back. Another woman said to me that she started, her hair definitely thinned out after having COVID-19. Another lady, now this I think was kind of like one of the most severe cases that I heard about. She said her hair loss lasted 3 full months, until the point where she lost over 2/3 of her hair. And she said it started 2 months after having recovered from COVID-19. All right, so that seems to be the norm. I'm hearing anywhere from a couple of weeks to 2 months, and then the hair, people are noticing that the hair are coming out. Now, 2/3, a couple of these people, as you can see, they're saying they had massive hair loss. 2/3, that's a lot of hair. That's a lot of hair. That's very frightening, right? Just think about that. So another lady said to me that she was hospitalized with COVID-19. And she said the next month after that, she said her texture changed again completely. So this is not new, right? This is another symptom that we're seeing. She said then her hair started to fall out. And then eventually she had to just cut it all off and just start over. So like I was saying, this is anywhere from like moderate to, or let's just say none too, right? Because there are several people, not several. If you're talking about, let's see, what did I say here? Over a third. So the majority of people that responded to the survey did not have hair loss. But unfortunately for the people who are experiencing it, this has been traumatic for some of these people. Now, here's the problem with this too. Because if stress causes you to lose your hair, and your body is already stressed out and just went through this horrible virus, now you're stressed out because your hair is falling out. That is now going to exacerbate the problem, right? And it's going to make the recovery, for some people, depending upon how you handle the stress, it's going to either lengthen it, or that's another reason why your hair could continue to fall out. So that's another reason why I wanted to do this, because I wanted people to know that in my experience, from what I'm hearing, from the feedback that I've gotten, the hair does come back in a couple of months. It has started to come back, and it started to reverse. The hair loss is reversed, right? I haven't heard, you know what I didn't hear? I really didn't hear anybody talk about the texture reverting back to the texture that their hair was before having COVID. But you know what? I'd rather my hair come back and just be a different texture than my hair not come back. So we're going to consider that a good thing, right? That it's coming back. What else did I want to say? Yeah, the stress management is critical for this. And so because I personally, outside of these hair groups, I don't hear a lot of people talking about this, and you don't really hear, let me say me, I don't, in my experience, hear a lot of people talking about hair loss as a major symptom of COVID-19. I felt like it was important to put this out here so that if anybody else experiences hair loss after having COVID-19, number one, that you know that this is fairly common, and two, people are saying that their hair is coming back, and hopefully that will lessen the amount of stress that you feel if one day you notice that your hair is coming out after you've had COVID-19. Okay, so that's really why I felt like it was important to have this conversation, because like I said, I know what it's like when your hair falls out all of a sudden, you weren't expecting it, and you don't know whether it's going to come back. So I want people to know that out of everyone that has contacted me that their hair has come out, it's come back. All right, so let's talk about some of the solutions and things that people did with managing the hair loss or trying to get their hair to come back. I'm going to tell you what the women said to me, what they used and what they felt gave them results. All right, so one lady said that she started doing scalp massages and trying to put moisture back into her hair. So her hair became dry after having COVID. And so she had to work to put the moisture back in. Now, how do you put the moisture back in? You can put the moisture back in by using hydrating. Let me grab this. Doing deep conditioners and use some heat, like a heating cap, or if you have a hooded dryer, right? So if you're having a problem with moisture, you can do something like this. I haven't talked about this. This is something new that I just picked this up. This is Shea Moisture's 100% virgin coconut oil daily hydration conditioner. So if you need to put moisture back in your hair, look for a hydrating, you can find like a hydrating shampoo, a hydrating conditioner. And then on the weekends, when you wash your hair, use something like this and then let it sit in. And a heating cap is always good. You can use a heating cap. I also have a steamer that I use for my hair to put moisture back in. But find products that are specifically made to add moisture that say hydrating. All right. So, and like, hold on, let me see. Give me 1 second. I'm going to give you an example of another product that I have for hydration that I happen to love. This is another Shea Moisture product. And this is Shea Moisture's Manuka Honey and Mafura Oil Intensive Hydration Hair Mask. So this mask, you know, this is one of the more popular masks I see when I'm following the hair influencers that they love. All right. So you could get something like this, another hydrating conditioner or mask, and use this for your hair. All right, that'll help you put some moisture back in it, because if it stays dry, it's going to snap as well. All right, so we're trying to prevent the breakage. All right, number 2, another woman said to me that she found rosemary essential oil to be very beneficial. Now, when you're using essential oils, ladies, you have to mix them with carrier oils. So what is a carrier oil? A carrier oil is something like castor oil, olive oil. I happen to like avocado oil, grapeseed oil. You have to put it in another oil. Don't just put essential oils directly on your scalp. You always have to dilute it. You always have to mix it in with another oil. All right. So rosemary oil happens to be very good for your hair. And this particular woman said that she found that massaging rosemary oil mixed in, she said she either used castor oil or olive oil and rubbed that on her scalp. And she said that seemed to work for her. Okay. Another lady said she did it to try to heal her body from the inside out and fix the issue from the inside out. Since COVID-19 is very hard on the body, right? And it's very stressful on the body. She figured she would try to nurse her body and her hair from the inside out. So her approach was she changed her diet. So she said she started juicing. She started eating a lot of vegetables, drinking a lot of water, and taking vitamin C. And so she said that was very helpful for her. Okay. Another lady said that she used hair teas. Now, I've done segments on hair teas before, using things like green tea. Hibiscus tea is supposed to be good for water. She said, this particular woman said she used chamomile and moringa. And so you can mix those together. You can use them separately. Green tea is supposed to be really good for hair growth. I know hibiscus, I remember from researching hibiscus is supposed to be good for moisture, right? And moringa is very nutritious. It's good for your hair as well. All right, so she said she found great results by using tea. Now, you can use the tea as a rinse on wash day, which I do periodically, and I was doing it on a regular basis. I'm kind of laying off of the tea right now because I feel like my hair is really dry, and I have to figure out whether the tea is drying it out or I gave myself another henna treatment, and henna can be drying. And so I'm struggling to get the moisture back in. So I'm laying off of now the Ayurvedic herbs in the tea until I try to figure out if that is causing my hair to dry out, or now that the weather has changed, I don't do well with drinking water in the cold seasons, in the cold temperatures. I don't prefer cold water. I like cold water during the summer. So I have really decreased the amount of, sorry, Instagram, I'm looking up because I got three, I got 3 platforms going. So now that the weather is getting colder, I don't drink a lot of water, which can cause your hair to be dry as well, right? Because you got to hydrate the inside to hydrate the outside. Okay, so another lady said that she found to regrow her hair rice water, which I've done segments on rice water, right? Again, a rice water rinse. And she said she started taking supplements like omega-3, zinc, iron, and then she also used onion juice. Now, rice water is another rinse, right? And that's basic. You can Google that. There's a ton of videos on YouTube about rice water. If you just do a search on rice water, tons of articles pop up. But basically what using rice water means is you're doing a rice water rinse. So you, a lot of the recipes will say take a cup of uncooked rice, organic rice. You can use white rice, jasmine rice, black rice, brown rice, any type of rice. And you, oh, you know what? I have a jar of it over here. You soak about a cup of rice in, I use, some recipes say like a cup of water. I use more than that. I use a whole jar of water because to me, a cup of water, how are you rinsing your whole head of hair in a cup of water? It doesn't work, right? So I take a cup of rice and then I use like a spaghetti jar. I wish I have it over here, but I don't want to get up and run away from the camera. I fill mine up with a jar of water. I use my spaghetti. I have these nice jars that my spaghetti sauce comes in. And so I fill that up with water and you let it sit a minimum of 12 hours. Usually you let it sit at least 24 hours, a day or two on your counter, and you let the rice ferment, and then you rinse your hair with it when you're washing your hair. You let that sit on your hair for about an hour, and then you rinse that out. Now, I happen to wash my hair again and condition it after I use the rice water, only because the rice water, unless you can put things like essential oils in the water to cut the smell, because when it ferments, it stinks. Honestly, right? Like it's rancid. So when you open up your container, you cover your container and you sit it out. When you open it up, it stinks. And so I do not like that stench. And I'm always very cautious and conscious of whether or not my hair is going to retain that smell. So I put the rice water in and then I will rinse it once, or I have a co-wash. I have this great co-wash, you guys, that I use for moisture too. This is, let's see, this is, I have this a little dirty because I use this after I give myself an Ayurvedic treatment. This is As I Am coconut co-wash. And so after I use the rice water, I will, this is really nice. I will do a co-wash with this just because I don't want, like I said, I don't want the stench. Now, if you choose to use rice water, let me just give you like a little tip. My hair does not like white rice. I found that white and brown rice made my hair too hard, because you can get, if your hair is protein sensitive, you definitely don't want to use rice water too often. You know, I would say maybe not more than once a month. And I learned that the hard way. I was using rice water, white rice in my rice water every week. And when I washed my hair for a while, and I didn't know the whole thing about the protein overload. And then next thing you knew, my hair was hard as a rock. It was very brittle from the protein overload. But what I did find was that my hair likes the jasmine rice. So that's an option for you. My hair did not like brown rice, but now what I'm using is black rice. And black rice I like black rice because I wish somebody would come in here so they can bring me my jar. I like the black rice for 2 reasons. Number one, I can let that thing sit out for days and it doesn't stink like the white rice when it ferments. number one. And number two, I found that that does not dry my hair. It's not as hard on my hair. So I happen to now like the black rice. If I'm going to use a rice water rinse, I prefer jasmine rice, or number one, the black rice, number two, the jasmine rice. And the black rice, when you soak that, the water actually turns purple. So Shea Moisture, if I'm not mistaken, has I think they call it like a purple. They use purple in the title, and I believe the label is purple. I think they're using, and it's a rice water product, and I believe they're probably using the black rice because it turns the water this beautiful purple color. All right. So that's my tip for anybody who wants to use rice water. And you can use rice water rinse to grow your hair at any time. Just like I said, don't do it too often. You have to know whether or not your hair is protein sensitive. You don't want to do it too often, and then you have another problem. All right. Okay. So number 6. Another woman said that she started using prenatal vitamins. And then once she started taking the prenatal vitamins, she noticed that the hair fall stopped and her hair started to come back. All right, so that's another option. Then another lady said that she was taking ashwagandha as a supplement. And you know what? I have my ashwagandha pills over here, which I was taking anyway. Now, ashwagandha is part of the Ayurvedic herbs that I've been using. And so I have ashwagandha as a powder that I mix in to, you could do one of two things. You could either mix it with like water and make a mask out of it and apply it to your hair, or you can mix it, like take a tablespoon, mix it with water, and then you can mix it into your conditioner. Okay, so they refer to that as a gloss. If you're going to take it and put it in your conditioner, they call that a gloss. If you ever see that anywhere using hair glosses, what they're doing is they're taking those Ayurvedic herbs, the powders, and they're mixing it into a conditioner. And I did a show on this before, because the way that you can use like your cheap, I don't want to say cheap as in the quality is cheap, but if you have, let's say, conditioners that are not your favorite, or they don't cost a lot of money, right? Like I buy all these things, and some of them I like, some of them I don't like. The ones that I don't like, that I'm never going to buy again and I'm not really tempted to use, I will use them up by putting the Ayurvedic powders in them, and I'll turn them into a gloss, and I'll get rid of them that way, as opposed to just throwing them in the garbage. All right. So ashwagandha, why is ashwagandha in particular good for this? Because ashwagandha helps your body deal with stress. And so ashwagandha in general, if you're going through stress, anxiety, fatigue, things like that, ashwagandha is good for that. So coming out of COVID-19, where your body just went through a stressful event, you might still be suffering anxiety or fatigue, especially if you are like a COVID-19, a long hauler. Ashwagandha, now let me back up and just say, this is not medical advice. I'm telling you guys what other people have used that they said worked for them, okay? This is in no way medical advice. I'm not a medical doctor. I'm no kind of medical practitioner. I'm just sharing with you people's experiences, and I'm telling you what people did to get results, okay? You have to do your own homework, ask your doctor whether or not you can use these things before you do any of them, okay? That's my disclaimer. All right. So another woman said that she did protein treatments for her hair, and then her hair, the breakage and the fallout stopped after the protein treatments, which I think I'm going to give myself a protein treatment next week, because like I said, I'm not really sure why my hair is breaking, but I need the breakage to stop. Because even myself, this is a twist out. And after I washed my hair, I was like, oh my goodness, my hair is so thin, because it's been coming out, especially like the ends are bad. I can feel the thinning. And so I said to myself, and a lot of it is just breakage. I said, I'm going to give myself a protein treatment next week, and then probably give myself like, these good conditioners, and sit under the heating cap for like an hour and see how that goes. All right. Number 9, Another woman said that she started using Ayurvedic treatments, and she was using fenugreek, which I've talked about before. Fenugreek is excellent. The only thing with fenugreek that you have to keep in mind, when people put it in their hair, and you can actually buy fenugreek seeds, and they put it in, they'll soak it in water, and they'll drink the water, and they'll do different things. So you can put it in your hair topically, or you can consume it. The only thing with fenugreek is fenugreek has a smell to it. You either love it or hate it, because some people say they feel like fenugreek smells like maple syrup. So people will say they've been out in public and people will say they smell like pancakes. Or you think it stinks. I don't really feel like it smells like maple syrup, and I've had it in my hair, and I had to wash my hair a second day, like the next day after I used it, I had to wash my hair again. I personally didn't like the smell. I couldn't take it. And so it's one of those things. Some people love it or you hate it, but it's supposed to be excellent for hair growth. I'll tell you, ladies, here's the other feedback that I've seen quite often regarding fenugreek. Is people have said after using, and I'm thinking that these people were probably consuming fenugreek more than just using it topically. They said that their hips and boobs grew. And I have to be honest, in these hair groups, I've seen quite a few women say that they've used fenugreek on their hair and their breast size increased. All right. So that's what I have to say about fenugreek. Then, in addition to the fenugreek, she said she was also using black seed oil and coconut oil. Now, my thought for that is probably to soften the hair, right? To put the moisture back in it, because the one thing that I know from reading about this and listening to people, and even with myself, the Ayurvedic herbs, you have to use something to put the moisture back in your hair. So when you're mixing it up, you're either going to use like aloe vera powder, or fenugreek has a good slip. Fenugreek is very moisturizing. But when you're playing with the Ayurvedic herbs, you got to kind of take it slow and figure out what your hair likes and what it doesn't like, and how much is too much before it dries your hair out. Like henna, they know is pretty drying, so you have to balance the henna out with aloe vera. Okay. And then the last bit of feedback I got was taking B vitamins. Now, I know that B vitamins, I believe, are also good for stress, relieving stress. So another lady said that she added B vitamins into her routine and her supplements to help her body deal with it again. And it makes sense that after your body has suffered something as harsh as COVID-19, depending upon how severe you had it. And I'm really, I was trying to see if I could tie the severity of the COVID-19 to the hair loss, but I didn't have enough information, and I'll have to probably go through that COVID survivor group and see if I could dig up some more information, because I'm curious to see if there is a link, because it kind of, just off the top of my head, it kind of makes sense that the more severe your case, your symptoms were for COVID-19, the more drastic your hair loss might be. But I don't know. Like I said, I didn't get enough detail from what I've read and from the people that wrote messages back to me. I can't really say that that is true. But I did see some comments from people who said that they had very mild symptoms, like the ones who just had a loss of smell, or they lost their sense of taste. They didn't really suffer from the hair loss. All right. So I don't know. I'm curious to know if there is a link between the severity of the symptoms and the hair loss. So, we'll see. I'm going to keep my eye on that. I'll see. I'm going to go through that survivor group, but I'm sure if they had 1,700 at that time, 1,700 respondents to that survey, there's probably a lot of information that I could comb through. So I'm going to look, even if I don't come back on and do a follow-up on this, just for my own curiosity and information. I really kind of want to know, if the sicker people were, the more drastic the hair loss was. And I know some people who, were pretty sick and didn't have any hair loss. Now, I don't know whether that's, age related too, because I did not ask people their age. So I don't know the age of these women. I don't know, who's young and who's older. So unfortunately, I don't have enough to really share with you to kind of tell you that level of information, but I am going to comb through this COVID survivors group and see what information I can figure out, if anything, from there. Because I'm curious. Yeah, that is like a good question, right? Like, did this severe hair fallout, impact people over a certain age more as opposed to the younger people? Or is it tied to the severity of your symptoms of COVID-19 and the hair loss? So we'll see. I wish there would be more information put out about it in more studies. I'll have to really look. I haven't looked for studies on it from doctors, where they do like the whole peer review on it. I haven't actually taken the time to look for that, but I am going to start to look for it because, the variants are still coming. So that means people, more people are going to go through this, unfortunately. So, as long as we're armed with information, we will be better equipped to deal with it. And then hopefully that will eliminate some of the stress for anybody who happens to suffer it, At least now, my goal was to make sure that people knew that this was really a thing. And that the good news is that after a couple of months, people did see a reversal and their hair did come out. Because it's so frightening when your hair starts falling out. So let me see. I don't see any comments. So I think we're good. So that's all I really wanted to share. I just wanted to leave this information for people and just, give people some ideas of what they can do if anybody's going through it right now, or you have friends or family. This is a great episode. If anyone does get it, they'll be aware that it can happen. Yeah, Teresa, it was just, I have to tell you, when I reached out to the beautician to ask her, because I thought surely with the amount of heads of hair she does, that her shop would have known about it. So when she said no, that she wasn't even aware that this was an issue, I was stunned. Honestly, I thought sure she was going to say, yeah, I've seen several clients come in with their hair falling out, but she was like, I didn't even know there was a problem. She says, no, I haven't seen it with any of my clients. So I don't even know what to make of that. Again, I don't know whether she's only dealing with, young people, let's say people under 30, because they really don't get hit, from what we understand, that, the younger you are, the less severe COVID has been. So maybe her clientele is young, and so they weren't having bad symptoms and they weren't having the hair loss. I don't know. But I thought at this point, pretty much everybody knew that this was a real symptom and side effect and after effect of COVID-19, but not so. Because if the beauticians don't know, then I can't expect that the average person knows, right? I thought it was common, but not so common. I saw it on Inside Edition, so it was on TV when it happened to you in July 2020. That's good. See, now I missed it because you guys know I don't watch TV at all. And so if it doesn't come across my screen, if it doesn't pop up in an article on my devices and stuff like that, I don't know, because I don't get my news right off the TV. But at least I'm glad that somebody did cover it. All right. So that's it. It's 8:51 and it's good to be back. So I hope this was helpful. I hope this was helpful for everyone. If you have any more questions, or you do have feedback or experience, an experience with a family member that you want to share, leave the comments. If you don't mind them being public, leave the comments under the post, or you can just send me a message. All right, because I am still interested in collecting feedback. All right, so with that said, I'm going to say good night. And then for those of you that follow me with the Bible scriptures, I will be back on tomorrow morning. Oh, let me just say this. Tomorrow, good night. Thank you for all you do. Thank you so much. So tomorrow's my birthday, y'all. So if you're like, why is she dressed like New Year's Eve? Because in 3 hours? It's about 9 o'clock, 10, 11, 12. In about 3 hours, it's my birthday. So, yeah, that was the other reason why I chose tonight to come back. Because I was like, last year I was on for my birthday. I had a friend of mine on as my guest for my birthday show. So I said, you know what, I'll come back on December 12th to celebrate my birthday with you guys again this year. All right, but I'll be on tomorrow morning. Again, I'm on 9 a.m., 9 to 9:30, Monday through Friday. I'm on my Allison Vaughn page, and I'm going to extend it to Maintaining My Crown. Thank you. And Instagram. I was supposed to be on all 3 pages, but honestly, I do, when I do the Bible stories, I mean, not the Bible stories, the Bible reading, I don't do it here in the kitchen, and my internet, my Wi-Fi in my room is so shaky that, and I need it on a couple of these devices, so I didn't want to be doing it in the back, and then the connection is going in and out. So right now I just do it on my Allison Vaughn page. But if you are if you're on Instagram or my Maintaining My Crown page on Facebook, if you are interested, right now we're in the book of Psalms. We finished the book of Proverbs. I do one scripture, like one chapter a day. So every morning I come on, I read one psalm, and then we talk about it a little bit. I share whatever I got out of the psalm, and then I do either a word of the day, or like I'll name the day. Like I might say, I think Friday was miracles. I named the day miracles because I want miracles to show up. So it's fun. I have a group of people that come on, and they're on with me in the morning, or they catch the replay, but it's fun. It's a good way to get your Bible reading in. If you are not, that diligent about sitting down and reading the Bible in your own time, you come on, I read the whole scripture, and then I just share my thoughts about it. And then we go on and we enjoy the rest of our day. So anybody who's interested, you can follow me in the morning, and it's a good way, like I said, first thing in the morning, or if you watch it after work or the afternoon, whenever you catch it, the weekend, it's a good way to get your Bible scriptures in. All right. So tomorrow we'll be back in the book of Psalms. We're going to read the whole book of Psalms before we move on to something else. All right. So that's Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 9:30 Eastern Standard Time. I'm on the East Coast. Okay. Thank you so much. It's so good to be back. It was too long. It was, too long that I took a break from being on here live. So I feel like it's good to be home. All right. So I'll see you guys again soon. I don't know if I'm coming back next Sunday, but I do have to come back and do the follow-up as I test out these 2 conditioners from Eden Body Works. They were both great today. Like I said, I used them both. I'm doing one half of my hair with this one half with that one, and I'm going to see how my hair likes them. And I'll give you feedback, but they're both great. So far, I like this one. I've used this one for a while. And I thought my hair felt a little nicer today, but I want to see if this one that's for anti-breakage, I want to see how this one holds up. All right. So you all have a great night. Again, tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, if you're interested in Bible scriptures, join me on my Allison Vaughn page on Facebook, and we're in the book of Psalms. All right. So everyone have a wonderful night. Thank you so much, Teresa. So good to see you. And thank you for the birthday wishes. You're always so supportive. Love you so much. Everyone have a wonderful night. And those of you that do the Bible scriptures with me in the morning, I will see you at 9 o'clock in the morning. All right. Enjoy the rest of your evening. Bye.